Hey beautiful people, and welcome to the astrological forecast and tarot scope for Leo season, hosted by yours truly, Shakima. Stay tuned. Hey beautiful people, my name is Shakima and I am the founder of Consciously Connected, which is where we look at all things mindful from the subconscious mind, merging it with the conscious mind. And I'm simply here to be able to give you a forecast, an astrological forecast for the Leo season from the 23rd of July through to the 22nd of August. And I'll also be able to give you an in-depth tarot scope of a week-to-week spread of what this Leo season brings for us. So definitely stay tuned. My intention for this actual video is that you'll be able to gain enough insight on a week-to-week scope to be able to navigate through the shadows that may be coming to surface for us to all navigate our way through independently and collectively. So definitely be sure to keep your ears open, but most importantly, keep your heart open to whatever information resonates. And if it doesn't resonate, do just let it dissipate. Okay? So first things first, guys, I do want to just talk about what this Leo season is going to be bringing for us. So from what I can see, Leo season is going to be all about a karmic outpour. What we put in is what we will get out. So you have to be mindful of the way that you're making decisions. Are you making decisions by being emotionally charged? Are you making decisions by being negatively charged through your emotional state of affairs? Because most decisions that we make by all measures is actually emotional on some level. So just make sure that you're not making hasty decisions based on a negatively charged emotional moment, because that's what it is. It is a moment that you're experiencing emotionally. From what I can see, the first week of Leo season is really going to be helping us to work through our fears, guys. Okay, we are going to be working through karmic challenges based on the way that we spend, based on the way that we spend, not only financially but also emotionally, and where we place our energy. Because what I'm seeing in the charts for us is that we are navigating through a lot of changes in our romantic partnerships, business partnerships, and friendships alike for the first week of Leo season. And if you bear in mind that you can have family members as friends, colleagues as friends. You can also even have a friendship with yourself that is going through a significant change during the first week of Leo season. So do just be mindful of where you're placing your intentions, because if your intentions are negatively charged, the chances are you are going to get a negatively charged outpour that is returned to you karmically, and at the rate at which we are manifesting, that will be returned to you sooner than you actually think. So just be mindful of just how you're spending, because this is all about debts from what I'm seeing for the first week of Leo season. A few of the shadows that we'll be navigating through, just looking at the aspects of the avatar that's going to be impacted by where the moon is placed throughout Leo season. We're going to be navigating through the shadows of anxiety, worry, fear, and depression. And what I do want to say is, whenever we're navigating our way through depression, it's more or less us being compressed under our own expectations or the expectations of others. So do just be mindful of the expectations that you're placing over your circumstances. Make sure that they are, one, realistic, two, achievable in terms of you being able to achieve something that you're asking from someone else yourself, making sure that you're giving that kind of energy pretty much out there into the universe so that it can be reciprocated back to you. And three, just making sure that you are having expectations of others that isn't, too far of a stretch. You're not piling on too much. You're not overburdening others with expectations that you're not necessarily willing to meet yourself. Okay, it's very, very important, because what I'm seeing is that it's going to be a very, very interesting week for us to navigate through the first week of Leo season from the 23rd to the 30th of July. And during this moment this week, we're going to learn how to basically shift our philosophies. What are some of the things that are making us angry? Because by the time we close out the first week of Leo season, I'm seeing that anger is going to be very, very crucial as far as the lessons that we're learning. So there may be situations that might incite anger, but it's simply to give us an opportunity to learn how to be better communicators, because we know that anger is only the surface emotion. Go deeper and identify what it is that you're disappointed about, what it is that saddens you about the circumstances that you're navigating through, and communicate from that place. Because if you allow the spirit of anger to speak on your behalf, it's only going to create more distortion of your character. So this Leo season, we are effectively learning how to be the true version of ourselves, the most authentic version of ourselves, and knowing that whatever we sow is what we will reap. Leo season is simply asking for us to be able to navigate through the process as effectively as possible. So for the first week of Leo season, the tarot card that I've pulled for us, guys, is the Empress. But she's popped up in reverse for us, guys. So there are a lot of projects that we are fertile with creating. There's a lot of things that we want to be able to create during the first week of Leo season, but there may be some obstacles, there may be some delays, there may be some challenges. Why? Because the stars simply have not aligned for that just yet, and the universe always has your best interest at heart. So there may be a precise window of opportunity that is immeasurable to any other that is going to give you the best possible outcome. What I'm learning in this first week of Leo season for us is that we as a collective are learning how to be a little bit less codependent, and all of the creative blockages that we may sort of find ourselves navigating through the first week of Leo season is simply allowing for us to see where we are burdening others, or maybe where we're taking on more than our fair share. So just be mindful of that, okay? Moving into the second week of Leo season, from the 31st of July through to the 3rd of August is, well, the 31st of July through to the 6th of August. I said the 3rd of August because we will be having the Aquarius new moon on the 3rd of August, and between the 23rd of July through to the 3rd of August, it is ill-advised for any surgeries. Why I say that is because we're sort of navigating through the moon in its waxing stages, and when the moon's in its waxing stages, it simply means that there's a longer recovery time, or there may be a little bit more obstacles in terms of your healing process. So just be mindful of that. If you do have surgery that is booked between the 23rd and the 3rd, the 23rd of July and the 3rd of August, do just be mindful that your recovery period may be slightly delayed, simply because the, I guess, astrological alignment of the stars hasn't allowed for a completely clear or smooth transit. Okay, so what I can see for us during the second week of, Leo season, so we're closing it out on the moon being in Pisces for the second week of Leo season, the final day on the 6th. We have Mercury moving into Leo on the actual 6th of August as well. So our headspace is going to be more in that vibe of, a clarity in terms of what we're creating, how we're creating. We may not yet, so hold your horses, don't make any hasty decisions, because I didn't necessarily say that the stars have aligned yet for what we're creating. I simply said that our minds are in a much more clearer place by the 6th of August. Our minds are no longer, distorted by what's been going on in our romantic relationships, our business partnerships, and our friendships. Our mind is now finding itself at a place where it's focused on purpose. It's focused on the intention behind purpose, so that we can get an opportunity to really allow for ourselves to grow in the process. What I'm seeing is that the full moon in Aquarius, my bad guys, so we've got the full moon in Aquarius on August the 3rd, which is really going to shift the way that we are moving. It's going to shift in terms of the path that we're on. There is so much that is going to be confusing throughout the process, but faith is going to be necessary. It's going to be absolutely imperative that we walk and step out on a leap of faith, because with everything that's going to be taking place for us, from what I can see, it's going to be quite the trip, guys. So from the 4th of August right the way through to the 18th of August, surgery is advised, because the moon will be in its waning stages at that point. But it seems as though for the second week of Leo season, the main thing that we'll basically be sort of navigating through is third eye chakra and root chakra activation, as well as crown chakra activation. So we'll really get an opportunity to identify a sense of self and what it means when we identify with self. And from what I can see, the shadows that we were navigating through the first week of Leo season is now taking an opportunity to be, I guess we're coming down from the waves of those shadows. We're now sort of settling into a newfound perspective. We're settling into a newfound foresight that we're gaining based on the shadows that we've had to navigate through for the first week of Leo season. And even looking at the tarot that we've got quite the spread for us, guys. So we're going through another major arcana for the second week of Leo season. And from what I can see, the second week is basically teaching us that we are self-sufficient, that we are at that place where we can rely on ourselves and know what is best for ourselves. And gratitude is going to be very, very important for us as we're navigating through the second week of Leo season. What I'm seeing is that as we're coming into the second week, we've had to find our strength, guys. We've had to learn how to be a little bit more disciplined. I can see that our inner child has probably run rampant during the first week with its codependent habits and natures. However, by the second week of Leo season, it seems that we are maturing. It seems that our adult self is now back in, I guess, mastery. It's now back in control of the avatar. And I can see that as we're navigating through this self-sufficiency, there are going to be heartbreaks, there are going to be separations for a lot of us in terms of our romantic partnerships, our friendships, and maybe even in terms of business partnerships as well, because of dissatisfaction and being a little bit too greedy, or maybe being a little bit too expectant in a lot of different areas, which is something that we spoke about during the first week of Leo season. So what I'm seeing is that we're learning how to plan without these factors. We're learning how to plan without these people. We're learning how to plan without these ideal circumstances. And I feel like for the second week of Leo season, the universe is asking us to make sure that we are really identifying our strengths and really focused on our ability to be resilient amidst whatever challenges that we're facing, learning that we are stronger than we may think that we are in a lot of different cases. The key to the second week of Leo season is to not be too perfectionistic, because we may find ourselves being very bitterly disappointed, but we're learning a lot about ourselves during the process of the second week of Leo season as well. Not just our codependent habits like we did in the first week, but in the second week of Leo season, we're learning a lot about our strengths. We're learning about a lot to do with our ability to plan for the world that we see based on the things that we're in control of. So I guess we've learned a little bit about our codependent expectations during the first week of Leo season. So moving into the third week of Leo season, what I can see is that we're starting a new chapter, guys, which is beautiful. So we close out the second week of Leo season by ending an old chapter and starting a new beginning. And it's interesting because on the 8th of August, Venus actually moves from the sign of Gemini into the sign of Cancer. So we will be feeling a lot more nurturing tendencies to do with our home environment. We will be feeling, you know, for a lot of us, we may be renovating during this time. For some of us, we may be mothering ourselves. For others of us, we may be nesting during this time. It seems like the third week of Leo season is actually giving us an opportunity to really have a sense of clarity about what it is that we are wanting to put in our home situations, in the foundations of what we're building as our home. So taking all of this into consideration, from what I can see, as we start this new transit of our experience on the 7th of August right the way through to the 14th, I can see that we are learning how to communicate this new version of self. We're learning how to be a little bit more effective at communicating what we've learned, what it taught us about ourselves over the last few weeks, months, maybe even years, I'm hearing for some of you guys. And it seems like for a lot of us, we are going to be activating our throat chakra. We are going to be activating our crown chakra, and we are going to be activating our solar plexus chakra as we're navigating through the third week of Leo season. And it seems as though, from what I can see, guys, it seems as though we are definitely learning a little bit more about why communication is so important. So just on the tarot scope for the third week, from what I can see, we're learning actually how to be a little bit more emotionally cool, calm and collected. Our emotions are now a little bit more stable. We're learning how to be a little bit more present in communicating our emotions, instead of just being impulsive at projecting what it is that we feel and making other people responsible for, you know, what it is that we're feeling. It seems like we're learning how to be a little bit more responsible for our feelings and being able to communicate a little bit better as a result of that. What I can see is that there's still a lot of delays that we're navigating through. There's still some challenges and obstacles that we are still navigating through, but it seems as though we are okay with that. We've accepted it, and we're learning how to be a little bit more calm about the rocky waters that we're navigating through as far as the waves of this Leo season. What I can see as well is that we're learning that you know, we have been controlling in ways, maybe we have been domineering in other ways, or maybe we've been navigating through somebody who has a tendency to be controlling and domineering, and we're learning how to not rise to their controlling tendencies, because we've identified at this point that it's coming from a place of their own insecurities, and it's about helping them to get better clarity on those insecurities so that they can be a little bit better at the way that they're communicating with us as well. What I am seeing is that particularly in our romantic relationships, again, we are going to be dealing with a lot of obstacles and challenges, but for the most part, it seems like there are third-party situations. Doesn't necessarily mean another romantic partner. For those of you guys who may be engaged in an entanglement of sorts with karmic relationships, it may mean something romantic. For others of you guys, it may mean that there are friends, family members, maybe even children's feelings that are needing to be taken into consideration as you're navigating through the dynamics of your romantic partnerships, and that's causing a little bit of a challenge to what it is that you're trying to manifest in the space. So just be mindful that this is giving you an opportunity to identify what it is that you're in control of and how to be able to effectively navigate based on those variables. What I am seeing for us as far as the final week of Leo season, from the 15th right through to the 22nd, we're actually sort of, it seems as though we're navigating through, again, just learning about what disappointments, what impatience, because it seems like those are the shadows we're going to be navigating through, right? We're going to be navigating through, by the looks of it, worry, anxiety, compression, as we know now, and a little bit of impatience and cruelty, and it may show up as hatred. And I think for the 4th week of Leo season, we're really going to be tested on whether or not our heart's in the right place. Sometimes we mean well, our intentions are, you know, for the best possible outcome, but we may be still in a place where we're not entirely giving into surrendering to the universe for that best possible outcome, because we're, you know, very deeply attached to the outcome that we want versus the outcome that is going to be best for everybody involved in what it is that you're trying to manifest. So it seems as though the 4th week of Leo season is really going to be giving us an opportunity to speak about the things that potentially we're frustrated about and learn how to be a little bit more patient. It seems that we're going to have some sacral chakra activation as well from the 15th. But it is going to come with its own delays, which means that we're going to have to learn how to just communicate, guys. Communicate. That is all I can say to you guys, because it seems as though that is truly what Spirit is intending for us to be able to do. Try not to make too many decisions based on how you feel in that moment. Try not to be too impulsive. Try not to project based on the emotional state of affairs that you're in. If your emotions seems very distorted and all over the place, take a minute to calm down, cool off before you're sort of engaging in communication with others, okay? Because what I am seeing in the 4th week in terms of the tarot scope for us is that we are going to be able to manifest new opportunities for ourselves. We are going to be able to manifest new financial prosperities for ourselves. But on the undertone of everything is a lot of mental confusion. There's a lot of chaotic distortion that is going on within the mind, because our heart is saddened by our impatience, our disappointments, and our frustrations. So you just have to be mindful of your words so that you don't become a part of the problem, and seek to be a part of the resolution, seek to be a part of the solution to the situation, versus you showing up as somebody that is cruel based on somebody else maybe projecting that kind of energy towards you. It doesn't make sense to fight fire with fire. I always say it makes for a much better outcome to fight fire with water, to calm the nerves and transcend the mental states of affairs. Okay, that being said, my loves, that is pretty much everything from me. I hope that this Leo season brings you much love, much joy, much happiness, and just observe yourself. Don't judge yourself. Journal about the things that you've observed about yourself, so that you can come back maybe a month from now once Leo season is over and say, this is how much I've grown, because 3 to 4 weeks ago, this is how my ego was looking at the situation. This is how my ego was engaging with anger, anxiety, depression, compression, and just being stressed out in general. This is how I was engaging with my stresses. And when you find yourself being stressed out, beloveds, just stop and breathe. And it will allow for you to oxygenate your mind. You can breathe counting from 1 to 3 as you inhale and 1 to 3 as you exhale, so that you can allow for your mind to be oxygenated in the process, which will calm the stresses of your body, which will allow for you to be able to make rational decisions moving forward. Okay, my loves? So I'm going to love you guys and leave it there for you guys. I'm sending you guys nothing but love, light, and positive intentions for this Leo season, and I will see you guys in the next video. Until then, namaste. God bless. Take care, guys. That's all, folks. Thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe and hit the bell for more.